We're back with Gospel in the Real. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to our last segment. We hope that you guys not only were blessed, but we hope you've applied some of the things that were said so that you can bless God for 2016. We're transitioning into another topic that we know will bless you, ladies, but it will also bless men as well. My name is Tasheekia Perry. I'm the founder of Crowning Daughters for Success Enrichment Program. Welcome to Gospel in the Real.
I'm Pastor Patricia Bryan, Nazareth Church of God, Cape Coral, and I welcome you to Gospel in the Real.
Well, guess what? This is a continuation because in 2015 we spoke about blended families and the importance of us blending with a balance, blending with respect, and all of those good things that really in the end help our children. However, we had a little request from the men that said, hey, we're trying to blend, but my child's mother is not trying to blend. So what can we do about that?
Well, it is a possibility, and like we spoke before in the segments of our families and being blended families and how well it worked for us. And there were men involved in that as well. So it wasn't just the woman who did the work, it was the man and the woman who worked together and made our families that were blended that worked well together.
Absolutely.
And Psalms 133 and verse 1 says, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So in God's kingdom, unity is a big thing. And so we have to learn how to come together even in pain. Because it didn't say because they blended together so well there wasn't some pain involved. I know there were pain involved because wherever there's brokenness there is pain. But they decided to look past their own pain and looked at the children. See, this is what we talked about. This is where it takes real maturity, because until you can mature to the point where it's no longer about but about our children and what is best for them, we can't make it work. We make it work when we stop looking at ourselves. When we stop, I call it living in that feely place where, you hurt me, you did this and you did that. Well, it happened. It is past, you're now separated, but we are still people and we have children.
Absolutely.
And I have moved on and you have moved on, but we ought to be able in that place to come together for our children's sake. So the women who say, well, I'm not going to allow my ex to come to my home and to collect his son or his daughter or children because they didn't pay the child support. The fact is, money didn't make that man their child's father.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Amen.
The child's father is going to be the child's father no matter what. And I truly believe that children need to know their fathers as well as they know their mothers, because it gives them the stability in life to be able to live themselves and not live in that place of pain.
Absolutely.
Because nothing is worse for a child than to see their mother and their father having these wars.
Absolutely.
When they see that, it hurts them. And now they either going to have to choose. They have to choose sides. We don't want them to have to choose sides. We want them to have to be comfortable wherever they are. So blending is not such a bad thing, either for male or female. It's our maturity.
You said it.
And our mentality in what is best for our children.
Absolutely.
I'm done. We're done. We tried. It didn't work out. Okay.
It's okay.
Can we go on from here? It didn't work for us.
Absolutely.
It didn't work. But we can't live our lives punishing each other, because God is not in that.
No.
God is not in that.
He's not in that. And what's really sad to me is that we break up, things don't work out, and we cause the child to go through the divorce with us. That is what's not fair. We break up and we cause the child to break up with the parent as well. Just like you've stated, child support is not a mandate for visitation. For parental rights being evoked. no parent should have to buy their child. Yes, parents should take care of their children. Fathers should not be deadbeat dads.
No.
But at the end of the day, that is God's business. It is God's business and the court's business to make sure that that man is in the right place to take care of that child. Outside of abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, there is no other reason, because you're in your feelings, dad or mom, that a child should be separated from either parent. If that parent may not be living a certain way or according to your standards, there are still some levels of communication that child should still have with their parent. Let's talk about parents behind bars. So you have parents that say, I'm never taking my child, he has 15 to 20 years or she has 50 years, I'm never taking my child to see their parent in their mom or dad in prison. What are your thoughts on that?
I believe if it is possible to have some kind of relationship, there should always be that avenue.
Absolutely.
Whether the person is behind bars or not. You never know. That might be that thing that stops your child from going down that street.
Absolutely.
You know, and I believe the people that have found themselves in that place that be behind bars have words of encouragement for their own children. Son or daughter, you see where I am? So and so and so cause of this. I would encourage you not to find yourself in that place.
Absolutely.
So there is good use. We can use tools. Life is a tool.
Absolutely.
And we can use these tools to make better for ourselves and for our children.
Absolutely. You know, I have a family member who was in prison for 10 years, and he had a daughter that was 7 when he went to prison. And he helped her do her homework and projects from prison. And no, it is not the best thing to announce my parent is in jail, but at the end of the day, we come up with all these excuses because all we want is control. We do not want to lose the control. We want to control every situation and every circumstance, and at the end of the day, the child is going to grow up and realize that parent kept me from my other parent, did not give me a choice, did not allow me to use my voice, and that child is going to have resentment. Yeah,
and that's what you want to avoid at all costs. It doesn't have to be that way. You know, it does not have to be that way. We should always try our best to make sure that our children can blend together in the families. And unfortunately, sometimes you have families that are not blendable.
Right.
Because somebody doesn't want to blend.
Right.
But it still doesn't say if that person is willing to have a relationship with the children or the child that you should stop them. They should be able to have this always freedom to have the relationship with the child, unless, like we said, there is some kind of abuse in the picture. If there's abuse, we don't want you to do that.
Absolutely.
We want you to have the right counsel to take care of the child. But if it's a father-mother relationship and the child can go and be with mom or dad, encourage them and keep it light. Oh my goodness, keep it light. Don't burden your child with your marriage problem, because you cause them to carry it. And it hurts them and messes up their lives, because now they don't know what to do. But if you can make it light and explain, if they're able to at that age, you know, we tried, your mom and I, and it didn't work for us. But your mom, and always try to tell your child the best thing about their father or their mother. Women and men, stop putting your children's parent down. It just doesn't work.
It does not work.
It doesn't work, because if the parent is a bad parent, guess what? That child is going to grow to find out. So you're going to encourage the child to have that relationship and form their opinions, because they're going to form it. You're not supposed to talk bad. It hurts.
It hurts. And you know something? Kids are unconditional.
Oh, yes.
Kids are unconditional. And what we do is when we bring that other parent down, we place conditions on their forgiveness and their emotions, and it's not right. And now we're teaching them how to form and nurture other relationships because of that parental relationship. It is just not right. Now, I know that we are losing a little time, but what about the blended family? The mom has moved on and she's with someone else, and that someone else wants to play the father role and does not want the father in the child's life.
I don't think that the mother should allow that. Plainly speaking.
Okay.
Because the child, as long as they know their father, is always going to be looking for a relationship with their father. You know how it is.
Yeah.
I know who my dad is.
Yeah.
And they will resent that person for wanting to take the place of their father or mother. They will grow resentment because they're always going to remember that I have a mom and I have a dad. And I can actually say this. When we first started coming together as a blended family, and my stepdad tried to correct me one day. I mean, I grew up knowing my dad, around my dad, and he tried to correct me. I was so mad with him. I said, "You're not my father. You don't have a right to tell me." See, and he was never mean or bad to me. It was just, this is what children do. They have their parent and they idolize. That's their hero. Even if he's not your hero or she's not your hero, it's the child's hero.
You're right.
So you have to allow that person, when they come into the relationship, to tell them this child have a father or a mother in picture. They're gonna be that mother and father unless they choose not to be there.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Good
so you're
information.
always gonna give them that room to do that, but you also want them to know that you're there for them at all times.
Absolutely. Last but not least, blending together during functions. Christmas, school plays. I do know that I personally, my son's dad, we are divorced, and he was going to take him to Animal Kingdom for Christmas. We were going to meet there. And Jaden said, no, I want to go to the movies with the both of my parents. So we met up at the movies, and we watched the Chipmunks, ate popcorn, had a great time. And you know what? It was a blessing that we cannot be together, but come together.
Yeah.
I don't want him, and I'm sure he doesn't want me romantically anymore. However, we can come together for a function so that Jaden knows how it feels to be around his mom and his dad together versus drop off here. And if you're with a significant other, all of you guys can come together. I know we did it in my family.
We did it. We had sit down at table.
Yes,
dinners.
honey. My dad
We
was
had
invited.
Christmas. Everybody came and everybody was able to meet and talk because that relationship failed. I'm with a new person. That person is also, the blending comes from all people.
Absolutely.
It's not just one or two. That everybody have to be mature enough to understand, like, we've gone past this, but we do have some little people here, and we want to make them as happy as can be. As happy as possible. I remember telling my ex-husband when we broke up, and he had somebody else living in the house. I had moved out, gone on, and I didn't have anybody else in my life at the time, but somebody else was living with him, and I had to go there. Now that was painful for me. It was my home, but I had to go and knock on the door. I was now the visitor, and this other person was living there. But my kids were in there, and I wanted to have a relationship. So I knocked, and when he came, I said, let me tell you. And I don't know where I got that maturity. I can only say it was God.
Absolutely.
We messed up. We did this. They did not ask to be in this.
Absolutely.
So I want to tell you this one thing, and this is my word. We did it. They didn't, and so we are going to be the best parent we're going to be for them.
Absolutely.
You can do what you want when they're not around, but when they are, we're going to be mommy and daddy.
Absolutely.
And the best mom and dad. And that's how they grew up.
I love it. I love it. It's the same thing my mom and my dad did for me. And I believe it alleviated a lot of low self-esteem issues. It alleviated me trying to cling to somebody else. It alleviated a lot of deep-rooted hurt that could have been built up over the years. My bonus dad, I could never say it enough. He welcomed my dad in our home 3 a.m. He would come home from work and say, hi, Charlie. Y'all have a good time playing cards or eating or whatever we were doing. And he would go in his room and go to sleep, and it was nothing else said. That is why I feel that blended families can work. We can do well together in unity. It may be a process. It may not happen overnight, but we're just encouraging you to work towards unity versus division.
Amen. Unity. This is gospel in the rim. And I hope that your blended family will come together and be blessed this year. See you next time.
See you next time.